Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today's video, let me just be straight honest with you, it's not going to be some long drawn out video. It's not going to be some crazy colorful eye look. Oh no, this video is predicated on one question and one question only. Why did Estee Lauder release this palette for $55 at Macy's? That is what I need to know. I need to understand how this little tiny palette with these little tiny shades, $55. That's what we're about to dive into. So without any further ado, I don't need to do some long drawn out intro. I don't need to do any long drawn out anything. I just need to know. I need my questions answered. So I have Macy's pulled up on my phone and we're just going to dive right in. So this is their Bronze Goddess Desert Heat eyeshadow palette, again retailing for $55. And I want to just dive into the description here. It says this is a limited edition eyeshadow palette with 9 silky shades in matte and shimmer finishes to emphasize, customize, and dramatize your eyes. Ooh, so that's all the info it really is going to give us. So I need to figure out the math of the situation because I need to know how many total ounces of product we get per pan here. So it looks like the total weight in ounces is 0.21 ounces, and I believe they said there were 9, right? 9. So 0.21 divided by 9. These are 0.023. Hold on, I gotta do my math again. That can't be right. I refuse to accept that. 0.023. Okay, so obviously the one in the middle is like a little bigger than all the rest, but on average 0.023 ounces a piece. Estee, we need to talk. Now for those of you that don't know me, or you've never been here before, or maybe you forgot, hi, hello, my name is Paige, and the amount of product I expect to get per pan of eyeshadow palette is 0.05 ounces. I feel like that is a very fair amount both for consumer and for the developer or the company that is producing it. I feel like that is a really nice, well-rounded amount to where me as the consumer, but also me if I were in the position of creating the product, neither one of us is going to feel like we're getting gypped out of product. And I feel like 0.023 on average for 9 pans is sad. There is, like, if you were to dig, that means if I were to take a little thing and dig inside here, that would barely go into the pan. Like, unless I'm missing something, that is sad. I'm just looking back here. Yeah, and it's also 0.21 ounces on the back as well. And typically where they do something where one shade in the palette has more product than the others, it'll be like, oh, this one has this much product and these ones have this much. Like, it'll differentiate between the two sizes. And guys, just as an example, I'm going to use these NARS palettes. These are the Hot Nights and Summer Lights collection. I did a full review. I will link it up here. But if you open these up, you can see with your plain eyes that like these two pans are clearly larger than these. So on the back of the container right here, they actually say, okay, well, these ones are 0.11 ounces and these other ones are 0.25. Like, they let you know that they are a different size because it should be reflected in the amount of product. Okay guys, I'm sorry. I'm not going to keep hounding on about this issue, but like, I'm honestly so perplexed by it. I just don't understand, but that's okay. We're just going to keep moving through and we're going to like adjust accordingly. All right, so these are the shades, and for those of you wondering why this isn't just an insert right now, for whatever reason I tried to do one and the lighting just would not allow it, so I'm going to have to do whatever I want and then put it all the way up close to camera for you guys. So it looks a little bit weird, but what can I say? There's no natural light today. That aside, these are actually really quite pretty. I like the shades. I like that there's a good mixture. Now, does anybody else look at this palette and think the same thing I think? Hello, is this shade a blush? Like, that's the first thing I thought of when I looked at it, is how is this not some kind of a blush? Oh, because it looks really beautiful. The pigmentation is nice, and I didn't put blush on today because, I mean, I sneak peeked and I thought maybe we should try it. That is really pretty. Like, I like that shade. Maybe we should swatch all of them, Paige. I don't know, just an idea. I just swatched these this crooked. I have to take them all off and do it over again. That's cool. All right, and then here are the 9 swatches. I think they're pretty. They're not my favorite. I really do like that last shade down here, the one that's in the middle that I thought was kind of like a blushy shade. The rest I feel like they're pretty vanilla. I just zoomed in a little bit more. I like that they threw in these 2 peachy little pink shades at the end. I think those are super pretty. All right, so I just moved it out a little bit, and I also want to note, I love that these 2 shades kind of reflect the way that they do. This one almost gives more like a yellow to gold duochrome vibe that's really beautiful, and then the one underneath of it almost has like a pink purple shift, but it's really subtle, and I think they're showing up on camera the best out of all of them. For some reason, this top shade, which is the deepest shade in the palette, it looks really chunky on camera, and it's not chunky in real life. It had a really nice velvety smooth consistency, so I'm not sure why it looks so weird. As you can tell, I tried to fix it because it doesn't look like that in real life, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but the rest of them did swatch pretty true to color and how they feel. Okay guys, so now that that we have sat here and talked about these swatches, we're also going to talk about the fact that my little eyeballs are leaking like crazy right now. And if you've watched any of my videos this week, they've been doing it all week. So I'm not exactly sure how to rectify the situation other than to tell you I apologize that they look a little red, a little bit, and the edges of them out here are very, very irritated. Like my eyes keep leaking, so I have no foundation out there anymore. So we're just going to ignore all of those things. I'm still going to test the palette. I have tested several palettes while my eyes were leaking and irritated before. It doesn't impact what I think of the product. It's just something I like to tell you guys because my eye looks and my face might not be the most aesthetically pleasing. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove these. And then actually the first thing I want to do, I think, is try that one shade on as a blush because I really like it. And if we could get even a little bit more use out of this palette, I think it would be a good thing. So let me go ahead and grab the palette here and find a brush, which, guys, this is a nightmare. Oh my God, Lord. All right, so I'm just going to grab this big old fluffy Morphe brush. It doesn't have a name on the brush, so I'm not sure which one it is, but we're going to take this and I'm going to lightly tap into this because it is super rich in pigment because it is an eyeshadow, so I want to be careful. And I'm just going to start and kind of take this and tap it over the apple of my cheek just a little bit. Is that a radio? Tractor. Okay, that's why. Yeah, I actually think that's really pretty. Okay, where's my KK Brightening Powder? And then we're going to move on to the eyes, I promise. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take a little Born This Way concealer. We're going to pop that up on the lid here. Guys, are any of you currently suffering from watery eyes, literally the outer portions of your eyes being raw, allergies, anything like that? Please comment down below. And also, if you've never had them your entire life until you were an adult, also comment that down below because I feel crazy. Like my mom told me, she's like, yeah, I've had them my whole life. And I'm like, I've literally never experienced this. You see this toilet paper right here? It goes with me everywhere because well, not this exact piece. I change out throughout the day, but it's for wiping my eyes because my eyes are constantly watering so bad. And like I said, I've never had this before, so I don't know where it came from, but like it is something I do not enjoy. And I'd really appreciate it if it would go back to hell where it came from. Like this allergy crap has got to go. All right, so first things first, I'm going to take this center shade right here and I'm going to put that into the crease and I'm going to keep it higher up on the inner portion of the eye and just play around with making the inner portion bright. And I'm just taking this and pressing and packing. Now I have had to build this shade up a little bit, but it actually looks pretty nice. And you don't have to worry if it goes, you know, all over the place because I will be going in with a shimmer or maybe a cut crease or something later on. So if it goes all over, it's okay because we're just going to work it out. It's not a big deal. This really isn't going to be a super structured look. Hello, creasy lids. How are you today? Okay, that's actually kind of pretty. I like that shade. I like the placement. Now on the same brush, which by the way, that was the Morphe Y17, and I'm going to be using the same brush to go in on the outer portion of the eye. And I'm going to take the deep shade right down here, the one that was swatched at the very top. And it looked a little funky in swatch, so I want to play around with it. And I'm going to work this onto the outer portion of the eye. Again, same brush, and I'm just going to add it and blend the two together and see if I can create like a nice little fade. Guys, this shade is kind of annoying me. Like, why can I not build and blend this out? Like, even up here, it's just like, hello, I've had to add 7 layers so far. And for a shade this deep, I shouldn't have to add that many layers. Okay, so it's not looking bad. It's just not my favorite. I'm not sure why this shade is not functioning correctly, but like when I first placed it down, I usually start when I'm working on the outer V, I start right about here with placing color and then I kind of blend out from there. And for some reason I placed it there and then I placed it there again and 3 more times of placing shadow there, and I finally had enough to like build it up, disperse it, and kind of move it around. But for whatever reason, this color had to be really built. So guys, I just did this other eye and I feel like you can see like the rough transition that I have going on over here. And I'm actually going to go in with this shade from Amuse Causemetics. This is the shade Cream, and it's a single shadow that's a really nice light bone color shade. I use this in my full face of $1 makeup, which I just uploaded yesterday or the day before. I will link it for you guys, of course. And it's just a really good bone color shade, and I want to see if I can blend out this upper area with this shade because I need some help. It is just not blending. And yep, there we go. Much better. Dollar eyeshadow to the rescue. Okay. I want to do it on this side. Yeah, look at how much softer that is. For whatever reason, these shades are just not having it. And you guys know, lately I haven't been setting my concealer on my lids at all. So this isn't anything I wouldn't do with any other shadow. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why that outer shade right there just does not want to blend and buff. So next up, I'm going to take my NYX Glitter Glue here. I do this in every eye look before I go down with Shimmer because y'all know inhospitable eyelids alert. So I'm going to take my NYX Glitter Glue, put that down, and then I'm going to go in with two different shimmers out of the palette. I want to grab this lighter toned purple, the one that I said had like a really nice duochrome look, kind of like a pink purple shift. And then I also want to grab this light gold and put that on the inner eye. So I'm just going to take the glitter glue, put that down first, and then we are going to grab both shadows, apply them respectively, and see how they look and if those will blend. Because the shimmers did feel really, really nice when I swatched them, so hopefully they perform a little bit nicer. Okay, so I don't hate it. I think it has a really nice reflect to it. It's definitely not as intense as I had hoped. It has a nice sheen, but I wanted something a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more intense. But I don't hate it. It looks nice. I think for my skin tone, this inner gold shade or this shade right here, it's not quite light enough for me personally. You guys know I like that shade to be really bright and bold, so I'll probably go in with a highlight and kind of veil it just to make it a little bit more intense. But it's not bad. I mean, it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit meh. Like this whole palette for me has just been a little bit lackluster. I'm not sure. Oh, and you know what else I want to do too before I forget? I also want to take this brush, and I was just thinking about this before I go in with the glitter glue on the other side. I want to take the deep matte brown shade, just a little bit of it here, and I want to run that on the lower lash line. Just a little freckle. Guys, here's what I want to know. For the little bit that I just went in there and I used the glitter glue, how do I have fallout on my face right now? Alright, you guys, I went ahead, I finished up the rest of my face, and the first thing I want to highlight is that I did go over the center portion right there on both sides with a highlight like I had mentioned, and I wanted to highlight this just so you guys can kind of see the difference, because as I went in and kind of shaped it out with something a little bit brighter, it does go in and just open my eyes up a little bit more, which for me makes a huge difference, especially because I wear glasses. It's really easy for that whole area of my eye to get kind of lost, so I really, really like to open it up. So for me, that area of the palette was a little lacking. Now for what I used to do that, I went in with the highlight shade out of the Lightgasm palette. This is from Charlotte Tilbury, and I just did a full review of this entire Glowgasm collection, which I will link up here, and I wanted to touch on that in today's video. So if you saw that video that I just linked up there for you where I did the full review, I had some additional thoughts. I did make a really intense effort the day that I put this up to go in and really give you guys as much or more updated information on this palette, because after I used it the first time, I had a little bit of an issue the second and the third time, and I wanted you guys to know my updated thoughts just in case you were looking to purchase it. So if you want more information on this, I did put it in the description of this video, which again I just linked. I also put it on my Insta stories that day, which will be gone by now, but then I also went through and replied to every single comment that was put on there that day. I'm not sure if there's more as of now because I haven't checked yet today, but I went through and I wanted to answer all of your guys' questions, because with this palette, and I'm just going to touch on it here for a second, so if you've already read it or you don't want to hear it, you can skip through to my final thoughts on this, the palette that I'm working with today. But when it comes to this bronzer, I actually had a really difficult time working with it, and I think I figured it out. Not only is this very light in pigment, like I said in the video, it's very buildable, and traditionally I really love a buildable bronzer because I think that they work really well on super fair skin and it helps me control the product, and I don't have an issue with it. However, with this bronzer, I had a really difficult time. The other day I actually had to go in, and I don't have the brush in front of me, but I had to take a brush, it wasn't this one, and I actually had to press the bristles together like this and then dig it into the bronzer pan and then apply it just to get any bronzer on my face. And today I'm wearing my Thrive Causemetics Ray bronzer. It is one of my favorites, and it's so easy to apply, and this amount of build is so easy and so effortless with every other bronzer, and with this bronzer for some reason it is so difficult. So I just wanted to throw that out there. As far as the pigmentation goes, I think that's the biggest issue people are having with this palette, because not only is the bronzer a little bit irritating in that respect to work with, but also this blush, like I mentioned in the video, it doesn't have any real color to it. It's just like a pink highlight, and so I tried it as a blush topper and I wasn't obsessed with it that way either. So just wanted to update you guys a little bit. And again, if you do have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Like I said, I wasn't going to throw it in this video and kind of go through it one more time, but I felt like I had to, because it is such a new product and I would hate for you guys to purchase something and not have as much information information as I can possibly give you. And it was weird too, because normally my opinions on things like this are pretty straightforward, and I thought it was just so interesting that it was the brush that was doing it. Like, the more dense the brush, the easier it is to work with. And when I worked with it on camera, I used a different brush. I don't know why that was so weird to me, but anyways, if you want to see my thoughts, again, you have anything else to say, leave it down below. Okay guys, so now let's get back to this guy right here. The problem I keep coming back to with this palette, do I like my eye look? Yes. It's not an issue of do I like it, do I not? But for the price, I feel like this should have been the easiest to blend, the easiest to swatch, the most velvety, the most reflective, the most, like, everything should have been so over the top and so beautiful and so on point for the price that I'm really, really struggling with it. So let me go ahead and talk about some pros. I like the packaging. I think it's beautiful. I like that in the center here it has a little something different, a little like medallion texture moment going on. I think that's really pretty. When you open it up, I like the layout, the design. I think it's beautiful, kind of like a sundial effect. Really nice there. I like the shade in the center, this really nice peachy pink shade. Very beautiful. The shades around it I don't have an issue with. I think it's okay. It's a very neutral Nelly palette. And that for me is unfortunately where it ends, because I feel like for $55 you can get so many other palettes, and Estee Lauder typically they nail it. They throw it out of the park, and their price points are high, and I'm okay with that, because I feel like personally I don't mind spending a little bit more if I'm getting really nice quality, or if I'm getting something in return that is worth that value to me. And so when I look at a palette like this that's $55, fits in the palm of my hand literally, and the amount of product even in the pans is so much less than what I would think it should be. I just think for what you get, you could put your money to such better use somewhere else across the board. And that was part of the reason I wanted to make this video, because for me, I know, like, when I see stuff on Trend Mood or whatever, wherever it's released, right, whether it's the brand page or someone else is sharing it, what have you, when I see something like this, I am truly so excited. And that feeling of, oh my god, I'm excited, like I'm gonna spend my hard-earned money on this, the feeling when you get it, like, you should be able to match that excitement when you open it up, when you swatch it, when you play with it. It should be a constant uphill excitement from the moment you see it released all the way to the moment you put it on your lids. It should be a constant, yes, I'm excited, because from the moment you see it, then you spend your money, then you get it, you swatch it, you put it on your eyes. All of those things are building up to, wow, this was worth it. I'm so glad I did this. And with this palette, it was more like, spend my money, oh my god, like, you know what I mean? It was very lackluster for me. So long story long, would I purchase this if I were you guys? No, probably not. I would definitely put my money elsewhere, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you like this video? Was it good? I tried to make it short, concise, a little fun, a little poppy, a little something, because this is the type of video that I have to throw in when I see a product that, like, catches my eye and I'm so genuinely curious about. So leave me your thoughts below. Let me know, did you see it on Trend Mood? Did you want to see it? Test it out, try it. What are your thoughts and opinions? Leave them all down below. Now, y'all know the drill. While you are down there leaving me all those fabulous comments, you can also jump on up to the description box, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. I do a lot of my daily posting over on Instagram. I'm going to be doing more bloggy style stuff, which I've talked to you guys a little bit about here, and I also do skincare Saturday/Sunday over on my IGTV. So again, you can check those both out. They are linked down below, and if you haven't done so yet, you can subscribe here to the wonderful world of YouTube. Hello page. This is where I upload 5 days a week, y'all. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. And let me just tell you, it is early, it is bright, it is fun, it is happy. I do my best, even when my eyes are leaking, my eyes are swollen, and things are going all kinds of crazy, and we're spending way too much money on things we don't need. I try to keep it happy and upbeat and light, and you get you guys, your coffee, and me, and we're going to start the day right every day, Monday through Fridays. And you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. The eyes are alive with the League of Allergies. Why does this eye always lift up so much higher? Nobody knows where the hell I put it. It was right in front of me. Oh. That wasn't as cool as I thought it would be. Shocker, Paige. Throwing toilet paper in the air wasn't as cool as you thought it would be? Can't imagine why. You ever just sit and wonder if the tractor's ever gonna leave so you can do your swatches? You ever wonder? Now, while you're down there doing that, y'all know the drill. You can hop on up to the description box, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Twinner. There's one I've never heard of. Oh my god. Okay, all right. All right, Paige, you gotta get up, you gotta move, you gotta function. Come on. Okay, all right. I lied, don't function. It's a very dangerous world.